folks, check it out. This is the Event Horizon from Compoform. This is not Compoform's first square slider. I think that would belong to the Clover and the Clover V2, which is quite popular and has a motion kind of like this, but that is a track square slider. So this is the first free-floating square slider. I've got my V3 here to kind of compare it to, and then the V5, which I didn't realize is practically the same size as the V3. I guess the V4 was the one that was a little bigger, but let's give it a listen and then we'll talk about it. So I don't know if you can tell while I'm using it. This thing is a pretty light function to it, a pretty light play. Now, this is double-sided magnet, so that means that there are magnets facing north or south or whatever here, and magnets facing north or south, whatever here. So both sides have the same polarity, so when you flip it, it'll connect on both sides. Similar to the flip side or the flippable slider from Otter EDC. But number one, this thing is absolute art. I mean, this is titanium, and that is unbelievable. It's easily, I would say, probably the most gorgeous piece that he's made yet. I debated whether I would go with the black and white version or whether I would go with this colored version. I eventually went with the colored version because I thought it would look better for review, honestly. But I am not disappointed. I think that's absolutely stunning, and it really looks just as stunning, if not more, in real life. But now when we use the V3, for instance, you can get a lot of kind of quick whipping moves, a lot more kind of fast functionality, and the V5 even more so. Even stronger magnets. Since this is titanium and it's got double the weight because of those magnets, now you're talking about a slider that's definitely heftier. And so the added weight, titanium really doesn't weigh a whole lot, but the added weight of titanium and double the magnets per side, and not just double the magnets, but you've got 2, 4, 6, 8 in here. On each one of these, you've got 9. And so now you flip it over. Now you've got 18. That's 18 magnets per piece. Right? Now that's assuming that he did a magnet in the middle. I'm not 100% sure that that is in there. I think it is, but either way, the function of it, the playability, it's a lot softer. You got to be a little more gentle with it. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. I personally would say that I would have taken this pattern with these plates on a square and not had it be flippable all day over a flippable one, just for functionality. I would have loved to have had a square that I could whip around the same way I whip around my V3 and V5. Um, but again, that doesn't mean that everyone's going to be disappointed or upset with the function of this. I know I've seen a couple go up on secondary already because, some people are saying just not for them. Now, especially when you're not really going to use that action a whole lot, just a square with the regular amount of magnets would have been phenomenal. But again, if you're willing to kind of look past that, I think the sound of, this was something I was worried about, this pattern on top of that pattern, if that would even create like a good enough sound. It really does. It feels very nice. So very unique. I gotta hand it to Ivan for constantly just outdoing himself with the way he machines this metal. Overall, as a lover of squares, I'm not going to say I was disappointed in the piece, but I was, I guess, hoping when I took it out, without thinking about it, that it would have the same kind of grip and feel as some of these other Compoform sliders, and it just doesn't. It's a little weaker and a lot heavier. So if you're prepared for that and you go in with the proper expectations, you will not be disappointed. I mean, this is still holding art, and it still functions, but I certainly wouldn't take it off the couch or table outside, just due to the fact that, I'm not going to go out in a public place and be whipping this around because it just doesn't have the magnet strength to hold this all together. Especially when you're walking over cement or anything like that. So there you go, folks. That is the Event Horizon. Really beautiful piece. And shout out to Ivan for just always upping his game. Appreciate all the work he puts into that.